Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Keeping It Real with Coach Neal. Alongside the head coach of the UNCW women's soccer program, Chris Neal, I'm Eric Rue. And Coach, one game on the docket last week, but it was a biggie as you went up to Hempstead, New York to face Hofstra, the team at the top of the table in the CAA. You come away with a 1-1 draw. Your initial thoughts on that overtime contest?
I'm really proud of our team's effort. That's a really tough place to play. Simon does an incredible job with his teams year in and year out. And Hofstra has proven themselves to be a perennial power in the CAA. And I thought that it was a very good game. You know, it was back and forth. Both teams had chances to win that game. But I'm really happy with the chances that we created against them. Unfortunately, a draw is a decent result, but we're still a point behind them in the standings. And we wanted 3 points, but we're not coming home empty-handed, and we're still in the hunt.
Emily Moxley nets her 5th goal of the season in 32nd minute to give you the lead. And again, we've talked about this all season long, getting that early lead and getting that momentum. But for her, she was in the right place at the right time to net that 5th goal.
Again, all 3 forwards combined for that goal, which I just love how they're communicating together, and they really seem to have figured each other out. We need to score more than one, especially, you know, with a high-powered offense like JMU coming to town. Delaware is an extremely stingy team. They've proven so far. So I love how they're communicating. We got to keep working on it and score more.
Defensively, you had your shutout streak come to an end, but not before you set the school record with over 500 minutes of scoreless play. Hofstra just happened to take advantage of an open space in that second half and put one in. Not characteristically for you guys to let up a goal in league play. It's only your 4th of the year.
Again, Hofstra top of the league for a reason, and it was a really well-worked team goal. I think, you know, obviously anytime you concede, you could always look back at it and go, man, we could have done this better, that better, but the reality is Hofstra put us under a good amount of pressure at that moment, and they earned the goal. We're happy with the shutout record. That's an amazing stat, and that is a lot of hard work. The totality of everything involved with our defending this year goes all the way back to last season. We were not happy with how we defended last season. We scored a ton of goals in 18, but we also conceded a lot. And we went to work this spring, and our sole focus was on building a defensive foundation. And we're reaping the benefit of that right now. So as a team, we are really happy, and I'm really proud of our defensive effort as a coach.
You go into overtime for the first time this season, and you go into double overtime. It's something that your team is not accustomed to, but it seemed like in watching the overtimes that still pressing, still trying to get that winning goal and still keeping that foot on the pedal. You have to be pleased with the fact that your team could go through 110 minutes, especially in a tough environment like Hofstra.
Yeah, there's no doubt that we still were pressing the game, and I wouldn't say we were completely on top of it by any means, but we were pressing it. And the danger with that was Hofstra is very dangerous on the counter, so we had to keep our foot on the pedal, but also manage that. But I was extremely happy with the amount of gas we had left in the tank at the end of that game.
You're now 9-4-1 overall, 5-1-1 in the league. You're tied with Elon for second place, just 1 point off the top with Hofstra. Turn your attention now to JMU on Thursday night, your final home game of the regular season. A very tough matchup with the Dukes coming in, as you mentioned earlier, a very offensively minded team. What do you have to do to control the Dukes?
They got some special players that you have to manage. If you don't manage them, they'll beat you. That's what happened to us last year at JMU. As a coach, I failed to manage the matchups with Haley Crawford specifically last year, and it cost us a game. This year, they've got obviously more than just Haley Crawford, so we've got to make sure that their specialty players don't get a lot of time and space, and we're going to have to be creative in how we do that.
One of the things that has been a highlight of your season is the fact that you have protected your home field. 6-1 at home, 18-3, the scoring margin there. Pretty good opportunity to get 3 key points, especially needing them on your home turf.
It's massive. I mean, we're still in the hunt for a title. You know, 2 games left for everyone. We're 1 point behind Hofstra. We need Towson or William & Mary to get a point off of Hofstra somehow, some way, and we need to try and win 2 games. So it could not be a more critical moment for us to defend with passion, and be exciting going forward and score some goals. But it's going to be a very difficult task. JMU and Delaware are two very, very good teams.
You talk about JMU again. That Thursday night contest is on Flow Sports, not SDN, at 7 o'clock. Then you turn your attention to Delaware on Sunday, and something's got to give because the Seahawks and the Blue Hens are 1-2 in league play in goals conceded. Seahawks have let up 4 goals entering the week. Delaware with 5. Defensively, the Blue Hens are a very tough assignment.
It sounds like it's going to be a very boring match, doesn't it? But we'll see. You're right. Something does have to give. And it's away, and it'll be the last game of the year, regular season. We're going to have to bring a ton of energy. Hopefully coming off 3 points from JMU, we'll see.
That game is 1 o'clock on Sunday in Newark. And again, another tough travel assignment for you to close out. 3 of the last 4 Sundays, you've had to go up north to Towson, to Hofstra, to Delaware. Long trips, nonetheless. With that Thursday night game, how do you try and manage a very tough travel weekend?
Well, at this point in the season, you've obviously got a percentage of your roster that is getting the lion's share of minutes, and we've got to protect those players between Thursday and Sunday. Just let them recover, not do anything silly that could prevent one of them from being 100% on Sunday. We had some injuries against Hofstra, and we had some players. Peyton Van Middlesworth came off the bench against Hofstra. Ashley was struggling with an illness, and Carrie went down, and Peyton did a fantastic job. So although we want to protect the players that are getting the lion's share of minutes, we've also got a next woman up mentality, and I'm really, really excited with how our substitutes have come on and made an impact at critical moments for us. So those are 2 things we have to do: keep our substitutes fresh and hungry, and keep our players that are getting the most minutes recovered.
Obviously, you're still aiming for that regular season title, but with 2 games left in the regular season, you're in the dance. You're going to continue your season into November. How much of an advantage is it compared to last year when you went into that final week knowing that you had to get results to get in? You have the spot now. Does it take a little bit of pressure off going into that final week, even though you still want to go for that top seed?
It's a completely different feeling. And, we talked about that just before Hofstra kickoff in the huddle about, hey, we've already clinched a tournament spot. We are in. And we talked about the attitude that comes with that. And you're right, Eric. It is a very different feeling. We have a much greater sense of confidence, of playing freely, of not being scared to make mistakes. And you're not playing with a fear of losing and a fear of surviving. You're playing with full confidence to go out and grab something. And we really want to go out and take the game by the neck and shake it hard to start and be ourselves.
Well, Coach, again, Thursday night, 7 o'clock, UNCW and James Madison. That game is on Flow Sports, not on SDN. Sunday, 1 o'clock at Delaware. Visit uncwsports.com for links for live video and live stats for both games this weekend. Coach, we wish you the absolute best of luck, and we'll chat with you again next week.
Thanks so much.
That's Chris Neal. I'm Eric Rue. Thanks for watching this edition of Keeping It Real with Coach Neal. We'll see you next time.